Hello and welcome to this review of Bushmills Original. Now I did do a review with my friend David at River Ridge Hot Rods. So we were at the hot rod shop and we did the Red Bush, which we got a great deal on, $9.99 plus tax at Savannah discount. It's like $23 everywhere else, but anyway. Then we did the original, an older bottle, older label, and we liked it. But that's a duo review of both, and I figured it would be a good idea to do solo reviews. I did a solo review of the Red Bush, very good product. Now the original, and later the Black Bush, which I've never had, although I'm sure there's an incredible amount of video reviews for it, not to mention written reviews. So, alright, let's try it. Age a minimum of 3 years, it says on the back label, but it's actually 5 years in sherry casks and bourbon casks, a blend of sherry and bourbon casks for the different whiskeys. Seems like it's about 80% grain whiskey, about 20% single malt whiskey. They say on their website they use single malt whiskey in all of their blends. And then above the Black Bush there is a single malt series. I think it's 10, 12, and 15 year age. It could be off on the numbers. Those are very expensive. I saw one of them for $229 plus tax at Total Wine on their online site, so it'd be a while before I get that. But introduced in 1880. Now they say 1608, that's when that town got, that area got a royal grant license to distill. Apparently the company only started in 1784, off and on, closing down, reopening, and they're owned today by Proximo Spirits, owners of the very famous Jose Cuervo tequila. So anyway, this particular brand, this recipe came out in 1880. Still a long time ago, 140 years ago. Alright, Bushmills, you can find it in most places, although I noticed that Walmart here has it, but I don't believe, well, I know one of the other prominent stores, liquor stores here, does not have it. They don't sell any Bushmills varieties, so, whereas Jameson, everybody's going to have Jameson, you know, so Bushmills is up there, but it's not at the top like Jameson, which I would like to tackle at an upcoming, you know, in the future. Yeah, it's light gold, even straw, very light. So 5 year age, that's a good age, not old, but it's good. Canadian Club over there, Canadian blended whiskeys age 5 years these days. They're both 80 proof. They used to be higher, 86.6. But that was then, this is now. So the appearance is nice. Alcohol legs, they're pretty uniform. Like fence posts. I don't see the fence boards so much, but the fence posts. Yeah, they're coming into play. Now you get the little boards. Think of a wooden fence. Grain, sure, a lot of corn. I like corn. Unmalted grains, column still corn whiskey, odorless, colorless, tasteless. That's the body, the bulk. The flavor is going to come from their single malts, which I'm assuming is about 20%. I could be wrong, but probably about 20% single malt whiskey. The Black Bush is 80-20, but in reverse. 80% single malt whiskey, 20% grain whiskey. So that should be a very interesting thing to tackle. It's nice though. It's clean. It's kind of sweet, kind of tangy in the nose, really. Zesty, tangy, both. Sort of a bright whiskey, like an upbeat whiskey. I said that about an IPA earlier today, that it was an upbeat beer. Yeah, it smells really good. So, time for the solo review. My friend David, you're welcome to come over here and do the Black Bush. Yeah. a lot of these Scottish and Irish whiskeys will have a candle wax taste. Not that I've eaten candle wax, but they just have a flavor aspect that reminds me of candle wax. It's like a waxy note. Well, there's sweet corn for sure, but it's muted. It's not glaring, it's not grating, and it's not really even bitey. When I did a taste challenge blind between the original, which used to be called Old Bushmills, you notice they changed the label. You might still find some old bottles, dust-covered bottles, say Old Bushmills, against the Red Bush. When I did the side-by-side blind, I did find that the Bushmills were a little bitey, kind of a harsh grain whiskey, grain alcohol taste, but it's not really showing that in the solo review. Really here it's like sweet corn. Oh yeah, a little bite's coming in now. Then doughy bread. Well, doughy bread dough. Bread dough. Single malt whiskey to me a lot of times tastes like bread dough. Not when it's baked, but before it's baked. It's hard to explain. There's a shadow, a scintilla really. It's a scintilla of peatiness, like a compost pile, but it's so faint. If you're not thinking about it closely, and I am trying to think about it closely, but if you're not really concentrating on it, you miss it. It'll just disappear underneath. I know Bushmills is very popular around the world. Some people will say it's trash. I watched some videos, you know, trash, garbage, tastes like gasoline, it tastes like airplane glue, etc. I thought it doesn't taste like any of those things. I mean, if you want to say it's kind of ordinary and bland, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. What do you think you're going to get for $24 a bottle? Right? I mean, you have to have some perspective, but to say it tastes like all those awful things, I just don't see it. It's not world class, but it has won awards, okay? In the Irish blended whiskey category, not in other categories. It hasn't won best in show, but let's say medium body. It's kind of a lingering finish, really. Maybe long, moderate. I got to think a little bit more about the finish, but I love the label. I love the bottle design, those squared off bottles. You can store more in less space. It's a fantastic label. I was looking at old ads from the 1950s and 60s. They were different then, I mean similar, but different in their details, and they were great looking. So I saw this whiskey on the shelves 5 years ago, and I was thinking one day I'll buy it, and then that day came. So I don't really have any complaints, and I wish I had kept some of the Drum Castle, but I don't have any more, and I don't think I'm going to bring it back. But that was sort of a peculiar Irish whiskey, but it was interesting. And then there's one at Walmart. They never sell it. It like never sells, but there's a lot of it for $19.99. It's always the same price, and it's from Rebel Spirits. Well, I think Rebel Spirits went out of business. You would think they would close it out, but it's called oh, I was thinking about buying it 5 years ago. Dunedin or something. Nobody knows about it, but it exists. I don't know if I'm going to bring that in. I might really want to do the more prominent brands like Jameson and Tullamore Dew, Paddy's, just something that people would be more interested in seeing. Although, to be fair, some of these off-the-wall brands are pretty good. Like, for instance, the Drum Castle. I could say nothing negative about Drum Castle, and my daughter liked it a lot too. Okay, well, final assessment here. whiskey from Northern Ireland, been on the market since 1880. Pleasant sweetness, corn syrup sweetness. I can't find anything bad to say about it. No. It's mild, mellow, pleasant, easygoing. Is it challenging? Does it have like flavors that could throw people up? I don't believe that. No, it's just like mass appeal, but there's nothing wrong with that either. It's probably made to mostly be a mixer. And on the website they have many suggestions for cocktails and highballs, of course. But straight at room temperature, neat. No ice, no water added. It's really good. I'm gonna give it one more sip and give it a final score. I think, no, I don't want to sit there and dwell on what I did in the dual review at the Hot Rod Shop. That was a fun day though. Oh man, this thing is really pleasant, and the sugariness is coming out more and more. And sometimes it's the opposite. It'll be less sugar and more grain, bite, harshness. But I know this is not. This holds its own, and it could be the 5-year aging in the sherry and oak barrels. But whatever the case, I'll probably go with 93 out of 100. I think I gave it a B+ on the duo, and that could have been. But we were doing a lot of beer drinking, tasting beforehand. We were just saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. And then finally I said, that's it, we gotta stop. We can't keep going. But I think I'll go 4 points higher, at least. So I'm gonna say 93 out of 100 and A. Getting into A, most excellent. Yeah, I'd recommend it. $23 a bottle, I think it's worth it. I do think it's worth it. That's in Louisiana, I don't know what it is where you live. Total Wine might have it for $1 cheaper, $22.99. I'm pretty sure they do. But in my case, I would have to drive 26 miles, which would defeat the purpose of saving the money. So anyway, that's it. An A product, most excellent whiskey. I have no serious complaints about it. Honestly, no. A winner, and I'm really excited about the Black Bush. Can't wait. And those single malts, well, for $200 I can wait. All right, so laissez les bon temps relais, and y'all come on down to sunny, dry southeastern Louisiana.